And that was what the tree of wisdom was all about, was the difference between right and wrong.
Right.
And being ignorant in that knowledge of between right and wrong. Not saying we didn't have knowledge before that, right? Because we were naming things.
Yeah.
And we were caretakers of the Garden of Eden.
Right.
Right? Nobody really thinks about what we were before. Right? We had free will.
Yep.
We just didn't know the difference between right and wrong. We were blissfully ignorant.
Right.
But yet we could retain knowledge. We knew things. We just didn't know that we knew things. We were like robots.
I miss those days, man. man, like, so I see, man, like, I mean, like, I made a comment one time, man. It's like, man, life is hard when you're stupid, right? But I thought to myself, like, but you got to be smart to know your life is hard, right? So, like, somebody, I mean, I was like, is your life harder when so yeah, so it gets my mind rolling on that, but that's a good
Ignorance
analysis
is bliss, right?
Yeah, ignorance is bliss, man. Right?
Yeah. So Enoch revisits the tree of wisdom and what he describes. Like, we always traditionally, everybody looks at these paintings, these Renaissance paintings, right? I mean, come on. It wasn't an apple, man. Apples didn't exist there. Like, it was not an apple. It was something else, right? And so they describe it. And so sometimes he describes it like a date palm, right? And other times like an almond tree, right? And then, you know, there's a carob tree. So there's 3 different trees that enter in here. And so, you know, I'm like, I don't have any idea what a carob tree looks like.
Yeah, me neither.
And so I like had to visualize all of these things, right? They're all fairly similar looking trees in the sense of, you know, not tall. Okay, so let me say this. An almond tree and a carob tree are fairly similar, right? Low shrub kind of fruiting trees, right? Now, a date palm, I don't think you could confuse the 2 of them with like a date with an almond tree, because that thing is a palm tree.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating to me about it is how the fruit looks, right? It's like these fronds with these clusters, like almost like grapes growing off of a palm tree, right? Clusters of grapes. And so they describe, like, you know, the effects, and we're not supposed to eat from that because it will kill us.
Right.
Didn't kill us the first time.
Yeah, but would you actually think that it was fruit, or was it a metaphor for something else? Like was it something they ate, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I completely approach it from a science point of view of, okay, these were essentially hunter-gatherers, right? Just on the edge of farming. And so they're contacted by something that isn't them. And I'm not going to classify it, right?
Right.
And this is their account of that contact between them and what these things say they are, right? But you have to approach it from someone who's a hunter-gatherer, like a good 5,000-6,000 years ago, probably farther back than that.
Oh yeah, man.
Right?
We're talking. I'd go back 20,000 years ago, man, for sure.
Who knows, right?
Who knows? Yeah, at least. Definitely before the Younger Dryas, which is 14,500 BC or something like that.
Okay, so we're talking like 12,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And this account has been passed. Now, what did they have to write on? Like, it does talk of him writing things down, like the angels writing things down for Enoch. But what language and writing did they have at that time? Like, we don't have evidence of like that stuff like that. But I mean, that was a long time ago too. And, you know, archaeology is archaeology. You know, you're looking for a needle you're looking for a pretty rock amongst a bunch of prettier rocks. Like, it's impossible to find like a stone tablet or whatever, right? Those finds are luck and skill, essentially. Right.
I think the flood
probably an equal measure of both.
Wiped a lot of that stuff out too, man.
And then you've got the flood, right? Because this predates that.
Oh yeah.
And so you're talking about things that happened before a flood that was supposed to have wiped out who knows what, right? some kind of creature
No,
experiment that got out of control.
bro.
Is what I look at it as.
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen the theory about the ripples in the Sahara? Where actually
The eye of the eye of the Sahara with
ooh,
this
man, those are the
cool
waves were
looking
rolling out, right?
feature.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I've seen some visualizations of that, like the flood just kind of washing
Yeah,
over Atlantis.
yeah. And I saw a really good documentary, man. It postulates that the Great Lakes were formed when one of the asteroids from the Younger Dryas hit in North America,
Mm-hmm.
and that it threw parts of, I guess, the Great Lakes are in Michigan, right? It threw
Mm-hmm.
parts of that land down to South Carolina.
Hmm.
Like, boom. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's how
it would have
massive it
been
was, right? And I thought to myself, damn, right? Like that, like, that's no joke, man. That's something like,
no.
I mean, it was a world ender. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that was a world ender, right?
They call it an extinction level event.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit though too, man. Like the
What?
extinction level event, right? Extinction would be like we're all gone. We all didn't die, right?
No. It's. I don't think that was an extinction,
Yeah.
but something close, right?
Well, yeah. So
Because
like it definitely like knocked us down
it whittled
99.
down the population quite a bit,
Knocked us
right?
down like 99.9%, right? Like yeah,
Yeah.
bad day, bro. And then
Yeah. Horrible day.
yeah. So but anyways, that's whatever they were seeing or whatever, man. And then what
And
also
there's so many different descriptions of angels too,
yeah.
right? Like some of the later descriptions are only eyes and wings,
Oh,
right?
so those are the thing they call. I think those call
The
those
cherubim or
cherubims,
something.
right?
The cherubim, yeah. And then there's different classes, right? The
Yeah.
watchers were obviously very humanoid.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.